All right, so I think this is going to be the last one for today. So I did figure that out straight away. You guys probably already figured it out before me, but um, if you did, well done. If not, that's fine because I didn't figure it out either. So what the problem was is that I was on the gun mesh, not on the player mesh. So I was setting the gun mesh to have ragdoll, and really I want the player mesh to have ragdoll. So I've gone in and changed that now. That was my stupid fault. So now when we hit compile, I've placed him over there, and he does it. Now we're going to work on this and finish this off today, or this session. So what I want to happen is this is the sort of sequence of events. I want this to explode, this to explode, this to explode. There'll be a very short delay, probably 0, 1 or 0, 2, and then the gravity gets shut off. Because what's happening now, the gravity is getting shut off at the exact same moment as the explosion. So they are not being affected by the explosion that I want them to. Because in 0G, I don't think they're getting blown as much. So I want them to be aggressively sort of like affected by the explosion and then be exploded out. So we're going to give that a try. Now, this is all spaghetti up in here. I've tried to think about what I'm doing, but I don't know. So this is, I'm just going to try and comment this out. So this is the force field. So activate force field 1. This is comment female 2. I'll understand what that means. And this is deals with the male. And a force field. Okay. So it's here that we want. So it's this delay. So we set in simulate physics before the explosion, which is not what we want. All right, we want the explosion. So this is the explosion. So let's grab this and this. I'm using that. Wait a second. We're spawning the force field and using that. Right. Wait. I don't think that's right. Target location 3, and that's force field spawn. Let's have a look at this. I think there's a error in my code. So what's that called again? Target location 3. Spawn force field wants to be at spawn force field, but spawn explosion doesn't want to be at spawn force field. So let's move that. And what's this? Spawn actor impulse. Spawn actor explosion. Have we got two different things? Let's have a look. I'm getting confused. Blueprints. I've got a blueprints folder. Yes, I do. It's not spelt right. So I have an explosion, a force field spawn, an impulse, and a target location. But which is doing? Oh god, this is where things get annoying and complex, isn't it? So let's have a look at this impulse. Radial force. And let's have a look at the other one. So, explosion. Well, this is the actual. Okay, that's fine. That's the actual particle. That's fine. So it's impulse. And I'm going to call this rename radial impulse. Radial force, in fact. So that I know exactly what that is. It's the radial force that does the damage in the explosion that actually is the effect. Good. Right. So let's go back and have a look. So the spawn transform of this explosion wants to be, if I'm right, this target location. So if I create a reference target location, get transform of the arrow, get world transform of the arrow, place that there, hit compile. Now let's just have a little look, see if that's working as intended. Now the explosion isn't spawning in the correct location. Oh no, now it's spawning there, but I haven't set the explosion to set there. Oh, this is complicated now. Oh, that's spawn, it's here. Okay, right. Whoops. So maybe I do want to, yeah, I want to go back. So I've made a mistake there. That is right. But it shouldn't be the force field spawn point. Right, no, that is actually wrong. Oh no, it's not. It's not. Okay, sorry, I'm getting confused. Okay, so yeah, so this is all correct, but it's just in the wrong place. So we want it to explode before we enable the gravity, I believe. So we'll just keep this down here so we can move it back if it's not right. So spawn the radial force and the explosion, of course, because the explosion needs to happen at the same time. So let's just move all this over here and grab this and move it over here. It's probably going to make it even more spaghetti than it was before. But once we get this right, we don't have to come back to this. So have those two things happen here. And then we set the gravity after this delay. I think that's right. And at the same time that happens, we set the time dilation. No, in fact, we should set the time dilation at the same time as we have the explosions happen. So we'll just have that happen in between there. No. Yes. We'll come back and check that. So let's just go through this. So we set the simulate physics, then we have them explode. I don't know, actually. That might not look even worse. But we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. Now, it should only work for him. She should be the same still. Weird. But explosion. Yeah, it just jumped because she was doing it differently, but I actually think that works better. So go back into the level blueprints and then just ignore that mess and set it up down here instead again. So let's just go through the process. So we want set the simulate physics, then we want the radial force. So just delete all this. We want the radial force. Then we want the delay. Then we set gravity enabled. Now they should both be in line with each other. So Luke, so they should get exploded first. So the explosion, yeah, actually affects them a little more, and I think that works better. It's just getting him to actually fly out the door. And the way to actually do that is to cheat a little bit. Bring that over here slightly. And just stretch this maybe a bit more. Now, normally I won't recommend doing this, but we're doing it on the fly. Or do we just have an extra bit for him to explode out of? I'll figure that. I don't know, actually. That's not a good thing to do, though. I've just made the area a little small. But it might be possible to just move these a little bit up here and hit play. Yeah, that looks so cool. I'm really, really happy with that. Okay, now that's working. Let's check the time. I've got another 5 minutes on this one. This is going to be the last one for today. So what should we do? We could make yeah. Let's do that. So let's make a flashing light, a flashing red light blueprint. So let's go into our blueprints and create a new blueprint actor, and this is going to be flashing alarm light. Okay, and in here we're going to place a mesh, which is going to be the same lamp we had before. So static mesh. It's going to be called lamp, lapon, whatever. And then we've got to actually find it. So content, spaceship interior, meshes, this. Okay, and then we can keep that selected. Open up any blueprint, and then we can get back to our blueprint here. And then here, just click this little arrow, and then we'll have that. Now rotate that 90 degrees. There. And then let's just double check that was. Really, you want to rotate in one go. So 180. What am I on about? 90 degrees. 180. That's what I want. And then I'm going to add a light, a spotlight, I think. Add a spotlight, and I'm going to rotate that so it's facing the proper direction. And this time it is 90. Oh, come on. Take 270 instead. And then we want to move it a little bit. Oops. So if you're having problems with things moving, just detach them from their parent like that, and then you'll be able to move it much easier. I say that, I still can't move it. Why is that? For some reason, it won't let me move that. Now, what we can do, though, is we can go in over here and change all its parameters. So I want this to be a deep red. So if so I don't want it to be a pink, that's for sure. I want it to be a proper red. Okay, and then hit OK. And then I want the intensity to be, I'm going to set this to be 10,000 for starters, but we can play around with that. Indirect lighting intensity, this is important. Now, what did we set this up on these? So if we click this, 9. Okay, something just to keep in mind. I'm going to set that to 8. I still want that to fill out the space. Now, attenuation radius is the actual cone. Outer cone, we want to bump. Do we want to bump that up? Something like that, maybe. No, don't want that. And then we want the inner cone angle. That's where the light is actually being produced. So, in fact, we can have the outer cone angle be sort of a bit straight like that. So, what did I set? 80. So, if you set that to 100, it'll be flat. Ooh. Oh, it's done something weird. Let's set to 90. Okay. 80. I'm going to go for 90. Right, we'll see how that works out. Volumetric scattering. I'm going to set that to 5. All right, and then I'm going to hit compile, and then I'm going to drag that into my scene. So the content, blueprints, red light, and let's just see if that actually affects anything. You know, because it might not even be strong enough for us to see it. I hit P, and I'm going to hit play. Yeah, look, it ain't even strong enough for us to see at that intensity. You know where it is. Where is it? Oh, it's we can't see it because we're in the wrong space, and also we're in unlit, so we won't be able. Yeah, we're in unlit. So let's have a look. It's not giving me much red light though. We'll play around with the settings of this until we get it right. Where is it? That's it. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so open that up. Now I'm going to set this back down to, no, not 0. What was it originally? Go back to its original if you just click on that arrow. We'll set that to be that. See what it says. So that should be really intense at 10,000. So compile. But it's barely visible. There's a little bit of red on the ground, right? A little bit of red. So what if we turn that up to 100? 1, 2, 3. No, that's 10. No, that's 100,000. So now, when they move under it, you can see some red for sure, but it's not intense. It's not intense red light like, oh wait, it is better from this way. Okay. Perhaps that's not the right way to do it, but of course, let's just bump up the intensity to see if we can make some changes. So 1,000,000, or what about 500? 1, 2, 3, 500,000. And then, let's try that, compile. See, that's better. That's better. We're getting much more intense red now. Okay, we'll definitely be able to make that work. And the last thing I'm going to do as well is just add a bit of code to this. So event begin play, we want a delay. Okay, and that delay wants to be, so you've got to imagine this is going off with the siren. Okay, so the delay actually wants to be constant. Let's set it to be 0.4. Then what we want to do is we want to drag in the light, and we want to set or toggle active. Or we could just set active. Set active to be false. And then do another delay, exactly the same time, and then, then it'll flash. There. And then plug that back into the delay. Plug that into there, that into there. Then when we hit compile, it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. Why? So yeah, so we haven't ticked that to be off. Okay, so that was the thing. That was the only thing. We hadn't set it to actually go off. Oh, not that it's actually taking any notice of that. What? What are you doing? Right. So event begin play, have a short delay, and then set the spotlight. Okay, so instead of active, let's toggle visibility. And then we'll CV that, delete, compile, and then plug that into there. It's been really stubborn. Flashing lights are not difficult to do. What is the problem here? Why is this giving me a problem? So let's just go to spotlight. Set visible. Yeah, that should be it. So event begin play, set visible, spotlight, set visibility of spotlight, new visibility off. So now we should not see a red light when the game starts. There we go. We don't see a red light. Now, after a delay, For a delay, we want to do the same thing. This time it's on. And then we want to go back to that. Oh no, in fact, we want another delay. So CV, so have a bit of a delay again. And then go back to that and hit compile. Please flash. Or I don't, yeah, alright, so it's flashing now. You can imagine when this is going off everywhere, down the entire thing, it's going to look really cool. But let's see if we can get it to interact with the walls more. What's the time here? All right, no, I'm going to have to stop this one here. All right, then, guys, I'll see you when I pick up the series again in a couple of days. All right, catch you in the next one.